Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and everything in between, above, below. I probably should have changed my title. What's the goddamn... What is the thing? Chat, who is the thing? Why is the thing? Nations Cup. Gotta find the right place. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. How's it going, bud?
Good. You sound like you're about 10 meters away from your mic.
That's because I am.
I see.
And now I am
Interested.
not. Is that better?
Not really, no.
Huh. Weird. Oh! Huh, that's odd. It's trying to take my camera input. How's that?
Yeah, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
We got it.
We got there at the end.
Alright, so how do forgive the Matt Mercer, but how do you want to do this?
Oh god. So there's no observer. TJ is around later, but I don't know what time he's back from work. He is online, but he's probably eating. So it kind of depends on how long we have. I'm free for basically the entire evening now. I don't have to puppy watch, so.
I'm down for like 1, maybe 2, but I also have like my own stream.
What's your cutoff?
Well, I mean, like, I'm streaming this so that we can have the VOD for the practice.
Ah, okay.
So like, I've got content on the board. I want to play some Pokemon Champions later today as well.
Nerd. Okay.
Did you just call me a nerd?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, so we have got the game from yesterday. They did the practice game. I don't know if you watched it.
I did not. That makes it
I
perfect.
watched like the first 5 minutes, but I can't remember any of it because work has scrambled my brain. So
Valid.
that is a game to watch. It was doing Germany and Scandinavia, maybe one of those, I think.
Okay. Do you have like the VOD, or do we have to go in game to view it? I don't really know how
It was on
predecessors.
for the core. I'm assuming they got the VOD saved. Yeah, they got the VOD saved. If your stream, might be better for me to stream this on Discord.
Yeah, either way is fine by me.
We don't have to do drafts, I don't think, so we can just jump straight into the game. Remind me, is this your first time properly casting, Fred?
First time in a while, but not the first time by a long shot.
Awesome. Right, cool. Yeah, it's Germany A versus Scandinavia.
Okie dokie.
Oh, let me. Find. Oh, there we go. That should be up.
Checking. Got it.
Or so it should just be a screen.
Massive PogChamp.
Awesome. I don't know if you want to set that up for your stream or whatever, but
Oh,
gonna quickly.
that's
My
not the
notes.
right camera. There we go.
And I don't know how to spell second. It's listed on the screen. I am absolutely an idiot. Okay. A. What did I do?
Boop boop boom boom.
Why is this so hard to deal with? Okay.
What's the sticking point?
Just trying to find teams, but I don't think they're full rosters. So that's not much help. Battle Royale Rampage.
Falcon, have you ever had biltong?
No.
Yeah, it's really good. I can't. That's it. That's the whole sentence. I was kind of hoping that you'd had.
I know what it is. I have never had it. Are you having it right now? Is that why you're bringing it up?
I've had a few pieces. Yeah, I'm having to stop myself from running down the stairs to go get like 4 more.
I just had a pizza. Yeah, I can't remember team player names, but let me know if there's anything else you want to set up.
This I think is
Obviously
fine
it's
for
gonna
me.
be- Obviously, no audio from the thing, so
Ah, that's fine.
go from that. And then I guess we just. I don't know what the countdown is. But yeah, if you're good to go, so am I.
Yeah,
See how it goes.
let's do it.
It is playing. Let me know if it's playing.
I see it.
Oh, look at TJ and Tang. Look at them too.
Look at those 2 beautiful human beings. Why does Tang look like Daniel Radcliffe.
Weird. He normally is saved. Clean shaven.
It's got like... It's giving Radcliffe. It's beautiful.
Anyway.
But as we jump in to the first game here, Falcon, I think there is a lot to be excited about on both of these drafts.
There certainly is. We've got to remember this is a practice game. They may not be playing picks that they would necessarily pick for the tournament, but this is one of my question marks. The Countess in the off lane has had some changes since the last time we've seen her. She's able to retreat back now with the Sour Slip. Should be a bit more aggressive in the lane, especially into a Severog tank. And we'll have to see how much advantage Gallus gets in this off lane.
It's going to be very interesting to see early on in the mid. Bit of an off pick here. You've got the tech lady who hands out hats, whose name is escaping me at this very moment. But oh, is this a Gadget is the one? Is this a new spectator overlay?
No. This looks completely the similar one as we've always had. We got a nice UI for the core. We got thanks to someone, not entirely sure who, but anyway, we are into that later phase. And one thing I want to mention is just look at where the junglers have started. Rampage, starting on that blue side, has the Rumble augment, is going to be burning through that mana in the early game. So going for the maybe more safe route in terms of pathing in the jungle, but is going to mean that he is synced up with Scandinavia's jungler of someone.
So there's not going to be much deviation in their rotation pathings. A peek over at the left lane might reveal a bit of pressure here. Shin poking his eye back and forth through the river, trying to get a little bit of position. But for now, nothing really should happen. Hobbity goes for the pull, but not quite on the mark this time. An early level 2 for Scandinavia will afford them some pressure. But now Rumble is on his way over, potentially just hanging out in the jungle.
Yeah, the issue with Victor in this lane is there's a lot of poker from the Mako and from the Wraith.
Hi, Raven!
Plus just all of those mini crystals that Mako can shoot out means that he is going to have a tough time if those Whip Blasts don't hit. And the both targets are not very big. Regardless of Tower Dice Llama, that is such a low HP on the Severog.
Just level 2, doesn't have the bulk, and at the moment it looks like Scandinavia is starting to pull ahead XP-wise across the board. Mainly just seeing in this jungle an even 3 for 3 on the left-hand side, though. Look at that. Hobbity misses the pull in. Shin in two hands. They've got quite a lot of health here. Both junglers are moving towards the left-hand side. Llama still very low. And under the tower goes Countess, Giltes, whatever you want to call them. Out they go. That's going to be all she wrote over here in the right-hand lane.
Llama using the Reaping Dash to great effectiveness.
I'm a Seri Procaster.
Killers can't escape the tower shots as easily. Again, the restart
obviously
is stopped, from Llama. So you have to stay in this lane for another time, or you're going to lose even more minions.
Gadget tries to put out a little bit of CC, but stunned away and taken down. Soggy able to pick up the first blood in game number 1. Meanwhile, on the left lane, Two Hands is able to get one in return, though. It's a 1-for-1 trade across the board. Actually, scratch that. I'm freaking out. I'm hallucinating. It's, in fact, a solid 2-kill swing for DEA. Germany?
Germany, yes, that's a flag. That German flag that everyone knows plays here, of course. And the worst thing about this double kill here as well is just how many minions Simi is losing on this Murdoch. Lost at least a wave and a half earlier, lost another half wave here, and that Germany is going to basically get a free back before these minion waves crash into the tower. Shin and Two Hands, they're going to be way ahead in this lane now.
Llama in some trouble. Sagyu has made his way over, and Severog has some mobility, but I'm not sure it's enough to get away from both of these players. Actually, hold on. The flip finds him safe. He's made it out.
So this Subjugate, just had enough space to make sure that Venom couldn't dive in, hasn't got the stun available just yet, is going to be able to escape. Hasn't got any blink, though. Diver has Guileless, so the later this lane goes on, Llama is going to be able to defend a bit better, but at the moment, that's not an issue.
Yeah, there's not a lot of HP here on Sagyu, who's trying to run away, but two opposing members, Germany's closing in from both sides, and somehow Sagyu's able to find a way out. Now the Neon and Rampage eyes turn towards mid, where Gadget could be in a little bit of danger, but for now it's going to be a River Clear seedling goes the way of Germany, and they continue to extend this lead.
What's impressive about that is they went for the invade as the 7th of August resetting. Llama wasn't there, Suntin went badly, so that kind of shows how strong Soggy has in this lane, how strong Ven is at the moment, how confident they feel that even if Garlus, who, of course, he was half HP, he hadn't had much mana, was going to come across, they were confident in that 2v1. However, with that reset coming through, Sagu's going to start the Fangtooth. Their duo lane has got the pressure currently against Two Hands and Shin. Same with the mid lane. They should be able to get this pretty handedly.
Guileless ultimate on the board. Level 6 has just ticked over Sevarog in a very precarious position. He wants to come back through and get into the lane. Doesn't want to give up these minions. Those stacks so important for Sevarog, and while Scandinavia is able to take the Fangtooth away, Germany actually sleeping through that one.
And there's nothing much they could do. There was on the other side of the map. The dual lane was pushed in. I think it's safe to just let them get the first objective. It's only the first Fangtooth. Yes, that stacking is going to be good in the late game, but instead let's focus on the XP, focus on the gold, and focus on these kills.
Yeah, the damage is just too much for Simi. And Hobbity has been having a pretty rough game on this Richter here. Two Hands jumps into a trap. Doesn't matter how many pulls Hobbity doesn't land if his opponent is just going to walk straight into the root trap for him. So it worked out in the end for them. Still, I'm sure Scandinavia would have preferred to not lose their ADC in that encounter.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is why you W key at all times. Your S key is for Karis and death awaits you. However, Ven is taking the entirety of this red side jungle from the side of Scandinavia. Ven now ticks over to level 6. We see that Sagu is still level 5. So although Sagu got the first Fangtooth, got that help in the dual lane, he is now rather sizably behind in terms of the jungle versus jungle matchup.
Yeah, and it's really bad. It feels bad to be behind in the jungle regardless, but being behind against a Rampage of all things, a character that can put so much pressure all around the map, is just not the position you want to be in, especially when all of your lanes are kind of falling behind, right? Scandinavia, they're in a position where they kind of need Sagex to get something, Saguex to get something to start putting them ahead, but he's almost got no space to breathe in any of these lanes.
The problem is you have that ultimate, you have that Kingslayer, you have that Law and Law as we get a quick add. And that is going to be a very good combo, but where do you use it? Because using it on Llama on the Sevarog isn't going to be the best. He's still a tank, he's still going to be hard to kill. Soggy is a good chance on the Neon, but there's a lot of escape with those extra dashes and that ultimate as well. And then, of course, on that dual lane is a good attempt. But if Hobbity is getting poked out like he is currently, then there's not much you can really do in terms of salvaging it. So Sagu right now, he has got a big decision in terms of the macro on how to play this map, and I don't think there's really any good decision.
So if you're in the captain chair here, what's your call? Because it does feel almost like the decision should be, hey, Sagu, walk into the jungle, don't come out until you are level 7.
He's level 6, so he's got ultimate, and the dual lane is heavily pushed up. Hobbity able to push in. Sagu has got Kingslayer, going to look for 2 hands, but look at the teleporters. They're online. 8 minutes is on the dot, and he is trying to dance around it.
If he can send somebody to the other side of the map, he might find himself out alive, but not quite going to work out for him this time. Ven lands a Thread the Needle boulder into Simi, trying to, again, go over the teleporter. Everyone's got away except Simi, who escapes in a different way into the grey screen.
Oh my god, having a bit of an issue. The 2v2 continues. Off laners coming in. Darlus takes down Sin. Llama also now using a colossal blow to slow down as much as possible. Sagu now falls to the 2 tanks.
Rock.
The CC is there. Guileless, you have a lot of true health damage, but there is nothing against these 2 behemoths.
Yeah, there's just not a lot you can do when a Rampage, who is a level your senior, is bearing down with rocks and trembles, and they're going to take this opportunity to round off the mini prime for themselves. Germany stealing a lead. I say stealing, it feels very decisive, in fact.
While low as well, two hands from the respawn has come over to the mini prime. They can give this over to the Wraith, make sure he can get as much farm as possible. As Ridwano, he goes low, should escape, but however, the ultimate comes, Soggy comes through. The ultimate is going to land. That execution is going to follow through. Soggy, with the help of Sin, takes out their opponent in the mid lane.
And breathe. The map has to reset a little bit here, as it starts to feel a bit like Scandinavia are on the receiving end of the snowball effect. Germany have certainly started to ramp up their powers as Soggy moves up to level 9 here, and Neon is one of those characters that can deal some decent damage throughout the entire game, but is certainly a character that peaks up towards the late game.
Level 11 is kind of where you're looking for that Neon. That second rank in the ultimate have all of those enhanced abilities available. As we can see, the two hands did pick up that mini prime. It's going to make the lives of the likes of Simi, the likes of Ridwano, very difficult, as Hobbity, now his life is difficult as well.
Oh my god, they've all just completely jumped on top of him. It doesn't matter if you turn and burn Hobbity, there's no one there to try and save your life. All it does is burn the cooldown and stun and delay the inevitable for just a few more seconds. Potentially, it's bought some rotation time, but it doesn't look like anyone else in Scandinavia is wanting to move over to the left lane and potentially deal with Rock to the face.
Staggy was there, but it's just, what are you going to do in a 2v3 situation when two hands has the mini prime, then with the Hexbound is in such a commanding position? Yes, you can potentially go for a steal here. This will cost you your life, but I mean, it's worth it. Maybe you're that far behind.
2,000 health on the Fangtooth, and it's going to be all to play for. Sagu takes Ven up to the sky. Rampage is falling low. Into the ultimate he goes, but that is going to be the steal. Fangtooth goes in favor of Scandinavia. Now it's the rest of the Dutch team, the German team, fighting for their lives. Health bars are starting to fall low on both sides, but here's the re-aggression from the Neon up into the sky. Bombs down, but the damage just quite isn't there. Scratch that. One more move will do it, and down goes Gadget.
The final thread missed, but the Lynx was able to be caught. Then it was also maybe looking around. Sayu is on such low HP, but instead they're going to go for the red buff. With all of that, that's one death for a second Fangtooth. You take that as Scandinavia every single day. Yes, you've lost the dual lane tower. You're going to have a bit of an issue in the mid lane as well. But that means your primary game objective, this free Fangtooth Monty, that buff is going to mean that that is your win condition in this game. They need to play for that position, and they need to make sure they don't fall any further behind, because that is going to require another steal if it continues like this.
That's when I'd love to ask our observer to have a quick look at the gold difference, because right now I can probably feel out that Germany is a few thousand gold in the lead, but after that play, I'd be curious to see the swing. Still a little bit behind on all counts. Sagu, one level his junior of his opponent. Same in the mid lane. And it looks to be relatively similar across the board. There's still the catch-up game.
One thing you want to point out, though, sorry, Blaze, is the fact that Gallus is a level ahead in that offlane. So that is a strong point. This contest is going to be viable in these team fights. It's just a question of what you go for, because basically, two hands, Neon, Moggy is going to be your primary targets, but can you get past these two tanks in the front line? And who is going to do the damage to them? Because Murdoch's behind, Gas is behind. It's a question of, can they even 5v5?
Feels like Moggy's Hobbity is having a very rough game. I'm not sure that I've seen him hit one of these pulls just yet. The damage is coming through. Sagu gets a rock to the face, and as things start to quiet down, it's a big three-man mess. Everyone gets pulled to the center. Hobbity singled out, but turns around. Two people stun. Neon in a very bad position. The Epoch will save her life for now, but up and then down. Sagu will claim credit for that one shortly after. He will lose his own life. 1-for-1 trade mid for jungle, and the aggression is continuing to pour through from Germany.
This is going to be easily the mid tower as well. They should be able to push this out. And who was staying? I can't entirely tell who that was. But Ridwano, just completely abandoned by his team, had no chance of being there. No chance of defending this tower against the likes of a Mako, a Rampage with two hands shooting from the back. That was an unnecessary death from Scandinavia, and that is not what you need right now.
Absolutely not. We needed to slow down the pace, start to catch up a little bit, and even though a tower does fall, the tier 1 on the right-hand side, to be specific. It's not going to really make up for the losses across the board. Counter still the main point of play here, potentially for Scandinavia. We did see Sagu able to find the mid laner, but it did cost him his life. And you know what, Falcon? I'm actually thinking about it. I think the value assessment is pretty solid there. The level 11 mid laner for the level 9 jungler.
That's always the case, but the mid tower and the extra depth as well kind of needed that out. The mid tower especially is going to be a great boon for the side of Germany. It's going to give him a lot more rotation power on this Neon. Gadget has to play a lot more safe as well, because realistically, this Gadget hasn't been in this game yet. Needs to do a lot more farming up, getting those FDA stacks on a line to become a big threat, because the Tesla Dome, that can do the shred onto these tanks, but not when you're on 0 HP. That's why wards are good, people.
We need to be able to see what's going on right now. There is just no vision from the Scandinavian squad. Not in that position anyway, but even if we take a quick look on the map, all of the blue side wards are hunkered around the Fangtooth here, Falcon. It's only got a minute or so before it comes back up. We will hit a quick pause. Never mind, not a pause, just a little bit of a freeze.
Yeah, good old spectator continue on. And I mean, it's another level difference in the jungle, where it was a 2-level distance before that for Camp from Sagi. He is very much struggling in this game. He's kind of an old bot with this Kingslayer at this point in time. You need to hit a good target with it as well. Sevrog, the Rampage, those targets is just going to shrug that off. So Sagi, he is going to struggle in the game as later this game goes, whilst the likes of Ven is, although the damage isn't going to be as strong on this Rampage, Rampage is always going to be Rampage. You have that rock stun, you have that massive HP pool.
I gotta thank the ad for showcasing what both of these teams will want to do to the Fangtooth in just a moment, as it's just spawned now on the map. And while the wards are solid, look at the stuns here. Hobbity able to find 3. Shin has to make it out. The health bars are low, but no one's gone down. Germany, they've just managed to make it out alive. Ven even in a bad spot, and even the laser beam is not gonna quite be on the mark. The re-engage comes back through 2 hands. The first to find a kill, but will get traded off. Down falls, never mind, no trade. I thought it was 2 hands who just went down, and instead it's 3 players on the blue side of the map. All Scandinavian, all dead. Now Fangtooth is open wide for Germany.
I'm more impressed that no one in Germany died. Ven was on probably double-digit HP. We saw Mako go solo as well. That double skewer was exceptional from Hobbity. The ripped out afterwards and went wide. But the fact that Llama came in late, got that 2-man colossal blow straight into 2 hands' sight. The double knock is more than enough damage to take out the backline. And now that is going to be the third Fangtooth dream gone for Scandinavia. Germany on the board with those, and in 3 minutes' time, that all prime is spawning.
Yeah, it's not looking like a great position. Falcon, if you're Scandinavia, is this a, okay, let's drag this out and start thinking about game number 2 situation? Or what is the path back into this game for the boys in blue?
Luck is part of it. I think you kind of have to wait for Germany to make a mistake. If they do make a mistake, you need this Gadget who, I mean, 0, 6, and 1. That kind of speaks for itself. 134 farm, just not in this game at all at the moment in time. They need to be able to scale up. The same with this Murdoch. And to have that time, again, Germany, they need to kind of slow the pace down themselves, because if that doesn't happen, those win conditions just never appear.
So it's going to be a rough climb, although with this, maybe something could be on the board. Shaper goes down, but it will lead to the second mini prime being pulled by Germany. Not a lot to do for Scandinavia. They've been pulled into the pit, and this could be the trap that springs and leads them down the rabbit hole, because Hobbity is in a terrible position. Does have the dash available, will make his way up, but the health bar is so incredibly low. For the first time, this is the time you choose to hit a pull?
What else do you say? Ven hits the rock on to Simi, who has to blink away. The knock follows through. But again, just positioning. Why are you there in the first place? You know that on mini prime, you know there's no chance of you taking a 5v5 team fight. The Rip Blast, I guess, was just a Hail Mary, see if I survive for the next couple of seconds. Now Saki Garlis, they're going in. The blink from 2 hands just followed through.
Up into the air, Sagu's looking to find two hands. He will grab him and take him to the sky, but the damage really is not all that significant. Follows it up with some damage, and Simi from downtown will find the kill. It will be swiftly returned, though. Countess goes down, and Glylus, the one player who was keeping pace with Germany, has just fallen for seemingly no reason.
Just not having the damage. Yes, you've got a Countess, but the build you went as Gallus. I mean, it was Orb of Enlightenment. I think there was a Tainted Scepter as well in there. So you've kind of gone HP Bruiser instead of sheer Assassin, which overall is probably the better build, but it means that you rely on your team a bit more for that damage. And right now, where is your damage? And Sagu is in a dangerous position here.
Yeah, not the worst character to be on in this specific position, but Ven might just find him. He's walking straight towards him. He's slapped the B button, is on his way back to base, but I don't think it's going to matter. Ven is right on top of him, and surely the damage will be enough to take down the jungler. We'll catch up on that side of the map at some point, I'm sure. Hobbity is making his way over with the rest of the squad. Somehow Sagu hasn't fallen down. Instead, it's Ven in a very bad position, goes up and will fall down. Sagu takes credit for his contemporary, and now the rest of the squad is in a bad position. Two Hands has already taken so much damage.
How's he not dead? He's still alive. They're keeping so much space. Garlus takes him out in the end. Epoch coming through with Rano. Maiko Sparkle is going to get the stun. Llama still in the back line, but you have got to back up. They're going to try and keep Ridwano alive. Llama now has to run for his life.
There's only so much that you can do when you're up against four, and even Sevarog is not that tanky. He'll fall. It's the first major W for Scandinavia here, and in great time as well, given that the big Daddy Prime has just spawned.
This is what I was saying earlier, Blazy. Germany has to make a mistake. They need to go too hard, and Scandinavia needs to punish. And that has happened. Even now, I don't think this is going to be possible. There is so much poke, but they should be able to get more kills. Soggy still gets Hobbity, though.
It's a lot of damage. Epoch comes through, but all it's done is allow the rest of Germany to gather around him. But it's not going to matter because Soggy is making it out anyway. Shin gets taken up into the sky, but it's all been a ploy. Ven is here. Monster hits the field, and the damage starts raining through. Countess, the last person left on the board, has to run away, but Ven is still giving chase, and Rampage is tanky enough to just see the whole of Scandinavia off. Advantage no longer followed.
It was a Hail Mary. I understand why they went for it, but you had to look at death timings. You know that Neon is still alive. Neon is still a very strong character right now at this point of the game. 3 items, nearly that third rank ultimate. It's got so much poke damage, especially with the fact that you have got Sin on the Maker as well, with even more poke, plus a lot of healing as well, if it does come to that. So now the Orb Prime has not been started by either team. The Primal Fangtooth now has spawned as well. If I'm Germany, I'm looking towards the Primal more, because although the Orb Prime is very good for the season, you don't want to let Scandinavia go for the trade, get that third Fangtooth, get that true damage buff, and make it harder for the season to happen.
Even now, Sagu feels like maybe he can get away with doing some stuff, but he's just in a bad position, and it's just a rough one. Soggy is able to find the gadget in the back, and Sagu having to use just everything to try and get away here. The damage is coming through, though. Look at this. The counter offensive has been successful, and Ven is falling very, very low. One more shot will do it, but it's not quite enough to clear the big piece from the board. Instead, Two Hands comes back through, punishes the re-aggression. It's going to be a second kill potentially here as well. Hobbity, just 1 HP. The Mesmerize will be enough to hold Simi still. Down falls the carry. And now 3 players off the board. Germany playing it safe, though. They don't want to over-aggress. They'll go back to the Fangtooth.
I don't know if this is playing it safe. I think this is exactly what you do every single moment. You can take the Fangtooth into the Orb Prime. There's not that much in terms of death timers, but right now for Scandinavia, Simi is actually the one doing the majority of the damage. That is who you have to be aware of. And just a CC chain coming out of Germany once Simi made a slight misstep, was in position to get stunned and was 100-0. Now that is the Primal Fangtooth taken by the side of Germany A. They're going to reset. The HP bars aren't just there just yet, and now they can reset for the Orb Prime, go for the fight if Scandinavia comes over. But if not, that's a double buffer for Germany.
Yeah, things are going just so well for them. The mid tower will fall down. Scandinavia are able to get something. And while we wait for them to bring down that tower, we can sit back, relax, and have a tasty deep dish pizza.
I had a pizza. It's quite nice.
Oh man, now I want pizza.
Oh well.
So here we are, Frelkin. 23 odd minutes into the game. A decisively terrible position for Scandinavia. And at this point, I think I gotta call it. I gotta ask you, what is the big thing that needs to change heading into game number 2?
We're already at that point. I think the Richter just get rid of. It might be Hobbity's favorite character, but right now it's just not being useful. There's been good ultimates, but the lane was in such a dire strait, it made it kind of unplayable. Also, the gadget just didn't have the pressure, had the assistance to scale in to that mid to late game. You've seen the stat line already from Rudrano, and probably needs to go for something a bit more aggressive in that lane. Maybe Gideon, maybe a Howitzer, depending on how the meta is. I'm not entirely sure how it is in the mid lane right now, but the gadget definitely is not it.
At the very least, Scandinavia will have their health bars primed and ready.
Oh,
Never mind, Countess caught completely unawares. Might find a bit of space here on the Geyser. Able to dodge around a little bit and make some space for the rest of his team to try and come back in, but it's not going to be enough to save the life of themselves. Saguex nearly falls as well. Instead, Hobbity will play King. And, well, get down from Mr. President for the rest of his team. He'll fall down in trade for the Orb Prime. And I think if the coffin wasn't fully nailed at this point, Falcon, it surely is now.
It's sealed and sent. I feel like you have got Sagu alive. That is really the only option they have in Scandinavia. But Severog is there. You've got a Colossal Blow. You've got so many stuns. There's just no chance of getting into that pit. Shin is just playing decoy right now. Though they are coming over. Sagu is half HP. The Orb Prime is still at 7,000. And, well, we just saw what happened there.
Yeah, now it's going to be all Germany all the time. Not that the story has been any different in this game so far. Germany have certainly shown their dominance here. They'll back with Orb Prime in tow and realign themselves with the lane that best fits their objectives. It looks like mid will be the lane of target priority, unless they start spreading out into the jungle here, but not too much left to get other than these last remaining tier 2 towers, the tier 1 in the off lane, and then those lovely inhibitors before the core.
Against Germany, it looks like you're going to do a 4-1 approach, have Llama in the off lane to deal with Gallus, push that in. And Rudrano, he's using the test dome to clear the way as much as he can, which is good, but on the tier 2 isn't going to be much help. That's already down. It would have been better to keep that cooldown for this inhibitor. Though, even with that, you have Wraith Poke, you have Mako Poke, you have Neon Poke. There is not much you can do unless you can engage on this, and I don't think Scandinavia can.
Yeah, I think part of the problem right now is how squishy Hobbity must feel. 2 levels, the junior of 2 hands, and the rest of the damage dealers from Germany are just ripping through the tank from this squad as Severog is starting to make his way through the rest up into the sky. Sagu is able to make some space here and take Soggy into a bad position, but trying to follow up is not leaving any results. Hobbity surely could have made a little bit more happen staying behind and using that pull to create more distance. Instead, the rest of Germany just have to back off, reset, and come back in. But am my eyes lying to me, Falcon, or did that rock just evaporate half of Gadget's health bar?
That wasn't a rock, that is 2 hands with a sniper rifle, or maybe a cannon. I can't really tell. The quarter kill comes out 15 and 4 on this Wraith. This is why this character no longer can pierce walls, because, oh my god, he hits like a truck. Absolutely
Valid. And with that, game number 1 will go very decisively and very quickly in the hands of Team Germany. There's no argument here, Falcon, that I'm not sure, could have played that game much better. A few mistaken fights here or there, but other than that, a significantly powerful showing from the boys in the red, black, and yellow.
I can only think of one. There's just that over push in the off lane meant that Scandinavia had a chance to go for the All Prime. But apart from that, just 100-0. Just every single minute of the game, it was Germany's game to win and then to lose, and then they didn't. So they won.
So they won, and that's the story of the game. Folks, we'll be right back with game number 2 after the break. That was pretty good.
I think you did call Germany a couple of times Scandinavia.
Probably.
And you did call them Dutch once as well.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll have more prep time. I'll know which team is which, and I won't be running on like 4 hours sleep, probably.
That is fair. Yeah, I mean, overall that was pretty good. I think the dynamic worked pretty well.
No complaints from me. Felt like we've been casting together for years.
Nice. Thank God for that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. The only slight thing I have on my side is when you were like taking breaths, it was hard to tell if you were taking a breath or you were done with your point. If that makes sense.
That's fair. Is there a way that I can make that more clear for you? I'll very rarely pass it back like as I'm taking a breath, but if there's something that I can do to make it more clear for you, that would be.
I think it's just a case of just knowing it, sort of thing. There's not really much to do with it. I only spoke over you once to make a point of it. I feel like it was
that was fine.
That happens, and it worked out fine. But yeah, I don't think there's that much of an issue. It's just something I need to be aware of my end. Just a case of let's not go in immediately, sort of thing. That makes sense.
Well, there you go. That's why we do practice.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. I'm going to do a cheeky ping on TJ, see if he can. Oi.
I'm gonna figure out finally how to turn on the like thing.
Ping. Anything above the thing. No. Okay.
How to keep music out of VODs on Twitch.
Oh, no idea. Probably software for it.
Okay. I think there's something for it. Where am I? Using OBS, use GoXLR or virtual audio cable to separate the music channel, then configure OBS to exclude that channel from the Twitch VOD track in advanced audio properties. Oi.
Yeah, you can. TJ can spectate the game for wait 10 minutes.
Sure.
I will do the game search in the meantime. Who's in groups? What games are we doing? That's a good question. Let's do it that way.
Broadcast mix. No music.
Doing C&D. I have too many servers, Jesus Christ. Announcements.
Output.
Yep. Anyway, let's see if France has done any scrims. played one 2 days ago against Netherlands, I believe. Netherlands. They will. That is not. That is not that. I don't know who that is. This is.
Okay.
Okay, I found a game for 2C.